When your cat follows you from room to room, sits near you quietly, or rests just within your reach, do you actually know what they're trying to say? Yes, it feels comforting, maybe even a little cute. But behind that closeness, there's something deeper that most people miss. It's one of the most emotionally loaded ways your cat tries to connect with you. And if you misunderstand it or respond without intention, which most owners do, you might slowly weaken the bond they're trying so hard to build. Let's start with what that quiet presence really means. Have you ever wondered why your cat just sits near you without asking for anything? Most people think it's about attention, that your cat is bored or just wants something. But here's what's actually happening. Your cat is choosing proximity without demand. That means they are regulating their emotional state by being near you. Researchers who study feline behavior describe this as social buffering, where an animal lowers stress simply by being close to a trusted presence. But emotionally, it means something deeper. Think about that for a second. Your presence makes your cat feel safe, even when nothing is happening. They're not asking, they're not taking, they're just choosing you. And by the way, if your cat ever sits near you but faces away instead of looking at you, don't ignore it. We'll come back to that later because that small detail carries more meaning than most people realize. Have you ever noticed how your cat reacts differently depending on how you respond to them? Most people think cats are independent and unaffected, but here's what's actually happening. A 2020 study from the University of Lincoln found that cats form attachment styles with their owners similar to human infants. They observe patterns, responses, and emotional consistency. Another study from the University of Sussex showed that cats who receive gentle, predictable responses, like slow blinking or calm touch, show lower stress levels and increased social bonding. That means your daily behavior is not neutral, it's training their trust. Think about that for a second. Every time you respond calmly, every time you acknowledge them, you are shaping how safe they feel with you. And here's where it gets even more powerful. They remember it, not as events, but as emotional patterns. So your consistency becomes their stability. Have you ever felt your cat rub their face against your hand or gently press their body against you? Most people think it's just affection, but here's what's actually happening. Cats have scent glands in their cheeks, forehead, and sides of their body. When they rub against you, they're leaving invisible pheromones. Behavioral scientists call this alla rubbing. But emotionally, it means something much more personal. They are marking you as part of their safe territory. Think about that for a second. You are not just someone they like, you are someone they've included in their identity of safety. Those invisible marks, they're not just scent, they're connection. And when you respond by gently petting them back in those same areas, you're reinforcing that bond. You're saying, I accept that connection, and hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. Have you ever tried to show love to your cat, but they pulled away? Most people assume the cat just isn't in the mood. But here's what's actually happening. Cats communicate through subtle, low-intensity signals. Fast movements, loud reactions, or overwhelming attention can feel intrusive to them. Their language is slow, measured, intentional. This comes from their evolutionary past. In the wild, sudden movement could mean danger. Calm, predictable behavior meant safety. Think about that for a second. When you slow down your movements, soften your voice, and give them space to approach, you are speaking in a language they understand. And what makes this even more meaningful is, they notice the difference. They feel the difference. So when you adjust your energy for them, they don't just feel loved, they feel understood. Have you ever noticed your cat behaves completely differently with other people? Maybe they hide, maybe they avoid contact, maybe they seem distant. Most people think cats are just selective, but here's what's actually happening. Cats don't reveal their relaxed, authentic behavior to everyone. Studies on domestic cats reveal that they show different behavioral layers depending on trust levels. With strangers, they stay guarded. With familiar people, they stay cautious. But with you, if you've built that bond, they relax, they stretch out, they expose vulnerability. Think about that for a second. That version of your cat? Not everyone gets to see it. That means you didn't just gain their attention, you earned their trust. And trust, for a cat, is never casual. Now here's something most owners never realize. Have you ever thought that big gestures matter more than small ones? That buying toys, treats, or giving long attention sessions is what builds love? But here's what's actually happening. Cats don't measure love in intensity, they measure it in consistency. It's the quiet, repeated moments that shape everything. The way you greet them, the way you respond when they approach, the way you respect their space. Remember earlier when I said if your cat sits near you but faces away, it matters? This is what I was talking about. When your cat sits near you and looks away, they are showing trust. Because in the animal world, turning your back means you don't expect harm. Think about that for a second. Your cat is choosing to be vulnerable without even looking at you. That's not distance, that's trust at its deepest level, and every small, calm, respectful interaction you give them daily reinforces that safety. Now here's something important. What happens if your cat stops doing these things? They stop sitting near you, they stop rubbing against you, they stop responding the same way. Most people assume mood changes, but here's what's actually happening. Behavioral scientists have observed that changes in social interaction patterns can signal stress, anxiety, or physical discomfort in cats. Because those daily actions were not random, they were communication. Think about that for a second. If your cat withdraws, it means something in their emotional or physical state has shifted. This is where most owners get it wrong. They wait for obvious signs. But cats communicate quietly, through absence. So, the next time those small daily behaviors fade, don't ignore it. So when your cat follows you, sits near you, rubs against you, or quietly shares space with you, do you actually know what it means? It's not just habit. It's not just routine. It's trust. It's safety. It's emotional connection built through small, repeated moments. That's not your cat being low maintenance. That's your cat choosing you, again and again, in the quietest ways possible. And those small daily actions you take, they're not small to them. They're everything. That's not just care, that's love in the language your cat understands. And it was never small to them, and it shouldn't be small to you either.